Welcome back to the Boot Tragedies.
Cut day is here. Teams have to get down to 53-man rosters, initial rosters. They can always change a little later, but teams have to get down to 53 players, down from 90, 89, wherever you're at. So a lot of cuts are going to be made today. A lot of cuts were made yesterday, and the Saints are no different. A lot of tough decisions have to be made, and let's just start off with the big one. Everyone's already heard, everyone's already seen. Will Lutz, your starting kicker for the last couple of seasons, who's one of the best kickers in the league for like a 3-year stretch, who's been counting on a downfall, is now no longer in New Orleans. He'll be playing with the Denver Broncos. Sean Payton made the call, got the trade for him, a 7th-round pick. Will Lutz is no longer with the Saints. That's the biggest news probably from the Saints right now. That's the biggest news. Didn't get cut. Saints, were able to get a 7th-round pick out of him. It was a really, really good kicker battle. Really, really good kicker battle all preseason, all throughout camp. And I won't say he lost his job. The Saints just had 2 really, really good guys, and you're only going to get compensation from the guy that's proven. So they're able to trade Will Lutz to the Broncos for a 7th-round pick. And Blake Grupe, he's now going to be your starting kicker. He now is going to be the kicker for New Orleans Saints. And this can be a season-altering move. I mean, it can go plenty ways. It can go Will Lutz goes to Denver Broncos, and he stays on the downfall, and he's just not that good. And Blake Grupe can just be great for the Saints, or it could be vice versa. Will Lutz go to Denver, and he's an all-pro guy, and Blake Grupe comes to the Saints and misses 6, 7, 8 kicks. Who knows what's going to happen? This is a very, very bold move by Dennis Allen, by the Saints. I already tweeted. Personally, I didn't agree with it. Personally, I would have kept Will Lutz around, see if I can somehow hold on to Blake Grupe. Will Lutz somewhat struggled. He's out of here. Replace him with the rookie. That's what I would have done. If the rookie got, picked up somewhere, and then so be it. But the Saints didn't want to go that route. The Saints this was Will Lutz last year of his deal anyway, so like they were gonna have to move on from him or re-sign him in the offseason, so they just kind of get a head start on that and get a 7th-round pick. So I can understand some of the decisions behind moving on from Will Lutz. It's just gonna be very interesting, man. Kickers in the NFL. Kickers in the NFL, man. It's a dime a dozen, man. It's just who knows how it's gonna turn out. I'm not gonna predict it. I'm not gonna guess it, but they're gonna be forever connected. Lutz versus Grupe. Lutz can go 3 for 3 game 1, and Grupe goes 2 for 3, and they're going to be like, hey, it's going to be a madhouse. But we'll see how it plays out, man. A very, very bold decision by Dennis Allen, Mickey Loomis, and hey, I hope it works out. Obviously, I hope it works out. But that's very, very big news. A new kicker in town, Blake Grupe. I mean, he did kick well. It's not like the Saints just traded Lutz because we were just guessing and hoping for a kicker. This guy did perform. He did make it a competition. It was basically an even competition throughout. So, I mean, if it's even, I guess they had to make a decision. They made a decision to go with the rookie who's going to be cheaper, who's going to be on probably a longer deal than Will Lutz and a cheaper deal than Will Lutz. So, hey, I see what they wanted to do. Next up, another big decision, another decision I did not agree with wholeheartedly. This is probably it was 3 decisions that I'm going to say, I won't say I disagree with. Well, Will Lutz I'm on the fence with, but these next 2 I definitely disagree with. Bradley Roby. It came out that teams were interested in Bradley Roby. Teams wanted to trade for Bradley Roby. Now it's kind of like, maybe we can get something back for him. I know we have a really good deep defensive back for him, but we just cut him. We just released him. We waived him. Whatever we did, however you want to put it, he's no longer on the Saints. And now all of these players that are getting waived and getting cut, they can come back. So if they come back, disregard everything. But if they don't come back, this is an absolutely, totally dumb move right here. This is a very, very dumb move. You got Marshawn Lattimore, who's obviously one of the best in the game, who I think will have the best season out of any cornerback in the league this year, was hurt all last season. We can't forget that. He was hurt for most of last season, barely played football for the Saints. Then you got Alontae Taylor, who was a rookie last season. Started the year hurt, came in, played well, got hurt again, lost his job to Paulson Adebo towards the end of the season. Then you got Paulson Adebo, who was hurt at the beginning of the season. And then Alontae Taylor came in, kind of played well. We thought his job was going to be in jeopardy, but when he came back, he got his job back. So you got your 3 starting corners, what it looks like. Alontae Taylor, Paulson Adebo, Marshawn Lattimore, who all missed significant time last season. And then you trade basically your next guy up, a guy that was probably your best slot corner. I know you want to just move into Alontae Taylor into that role because you spent the 2nd-round pick on him. You eventually want this guy to play. So I get that. But moving on from Bradley Roby, I just don't understand it. One of these guys are probably going to get hurt. It's the NFL. People get hurt. You're not knock on wood. You hope no one gets hurt on your team, but that's not realistic. Somebody's going to get hurt, and now you're going to have to play a guy that you might not want to play out there. You might have to play a guy that's not as good. and that's just never going to be good for the Saints. Hopefully these guys can stay healthy. But this decision I just don't understand. Maybe he comes back. Maybe he comes back. We'll see how it plays out. Maybe the Saints do something in free agency because a lot of guys are going to get cut. There's going to be a lot of surprising cuts during this time. There's going to be veterans get cut that people are like, oh, he got cut. Oh, this defensive end got cut. It's going to be a lot of cuts that surprise people. Obviously, Roby's probably one that surprised people already. The Lutz trade surprised people already. And that's just from the Saints. It's going to be every team making surprise cuts and fan bases shocked that, some veterans or some guys just got cut that they probably didn't think were going to get cut for whatever reason it may be. So that one was definitely surprising to me. Cutting Bradley Roby, I just don't agree with that one. And then this last one, not the last cut, but the last cut I definitely don't agree with. And maybe he comes back, like I said. Maybe he comes back. Maybe this is nothing. Whatever. But Jalen Smith. Now, we picked up Jalen Smith a couple weeks ago. And since we did, he's been the best linebacker on this roster. I'm not including Demario Davis. I'm not including P. Warner. We know those guys are the starters. They haven't been playing since he's been here. We know who those guys are. Those are really, really good linebackers. But other than that, you can't name a linebacker that's played better than him. You just can't. Zach Bond, Ty Summers, Nick Anderson, Sewell. Like, none of them guys have played better than Jalen Smith. It's just not true. It's just, if you say it, you're fabricating stuff. We couldn't be watching the same thing. Like that. Maybe they want to bring him back. Now, one reason I can see they cut him is because special teams. You got guys like DeMarco Jackson that play special teams, that will play special teams. Jalen Smith hasn't really played special teams. And to be a backup linebacker in the NFL, you have to play special teams. So I get that part of it. Zach Bond's going to play special teams. I definitely get that part of it, of people playing special teams and things like that. So maybe that's a big reason why he got cut. Big reason why he, didn't make this initial 53-man roster. But I just don't agree. Put his ass out there, man. Just put him out there on special teams. He's a good enough athlete. He's a good enough tackler. He's a good enough linebacker that he can do it. And he was really, really good at that linebacker position for the Saints. Once again, another position where Pete Warner was hurt last year, and we saw Ellis step up. You need depth in this league. Obviously, you're going to need guys to play special teams and things like that, but you need depth. I just don't want my starters to be my starters and everybody else just to be special teams guys. I need them guys to be able to play, multiple positions, special teams, and actually play their position that they're listed. JT Gray, I'll give him as a prime example. I love JT Gray on special teams. Really, really good special teams player. Put him at safety? Nah, it's bad. It's real, real bad. He's just not. I don't know why he just caught this stray, but that's just kind of how I see it. And it's kind of like, with Zach Bond and some of these other guys. They're really good on special teams, but if they have to play defense, it just doesn't look well. So cutting Jalen Smith, I just don't agree with that one at all. Another guys got cut. Lewis Kidd got cut. He's probably going to be a practice squad guy because he started some games for the Saints last season. Offensive line, all the injuries. Smoke Monday, fan favorite. He got cut. He's probably going to be a guy coming off ACL injury. Probably going to be a practice squad candidate. Ty Summers was cut. Nick Anderson was cut. Kawan Baker, the former, 7th-round draft pick a couple years ago, about 3 years ago, was also cut. And a lot more cuts, but the Saints still have a lot of decisions to be made. This is nowhere over. It's nowhere over. It's going to be a lot of cuts made. The punting situation, that one's got to come. Somebody's got to win that punting job. Somebody's got to win that punting job out of Headley and Gillikin. I think they both kind of try to lose the job, in my opinion. No one really tried to go win it. So who knows what we'll do at the punting position. That one's got to be solved, and it's a lot at that receiver position. What are we going to do at that receiver position? You got a lot of guys, Shaq Davis, like A.T. Perry, a lot of those guys, Traquan Smith. We'll see who makes this roster on the receiving end. We'll see who makes this roster on the running back end. Obviously, you got Kendre Miller, Elvin Kamara, who's suspended. You got Jamal Williams. But will Merriweather make this roster? We'll see. Defensive line, you got some potential right there too, man. You got guys that stepped up in this preseason and guys that didn't play well. We'll see what we do on that front as well. But there's a lot more to come from the Saints. I just wanted to jump out there. I keep checking my phone. I don't want to miss anything while I'm just, recording this right now. But it's a lot of decisions left to be made. Who knows what the Saints are going to do. Obviously, I want to say this before I get out of here too. Hey, man, Dennis Allen, you're making your own decisions. Which I love. Sink or swim. I said this in the offseason. Sink or swim, man. He's obviously trying to get out that Sean Payton era as much as possible. Bringing in his own guys. Except obviously the great guys you got to keep from the era, like, Michael Thomas, Lattimore, whatever. But, hey, man, bringing in his own guys, bringing in his own quarterback now, bringing in his own kicker. These are important positions that he's bringing in, that he's made the decisions on, and he's got to live with it. If it works out, great, fantastic. What a wonderful job, coach. If it doesn't, you have to eat that. That's on you. You're the head coach. You're the number one decision maker. That's going to be on you. And if you don't make the playoff this year, I can almost guarantee you Dennis Allen will be out of here. With the strength of schedule looking like it's looking, like the schedule's fairly easy. You never know. You can't really say you have an easy schedule. It's the NFL. Everybody's going to be tough. But I would rather have this schedule than any other schedule in the NFL. I'll just put it that way. And if you can't make the playoffs with all the roster changes we've made, all of the restructures of Michael Thomas, bringing him back, it's going to be very interesting for you. It's going to be very interesting for you. Now, I'm not saying we're tanking or anything like that right now. Just some interesting decisions being made. Hopefully they work out. Trust me, I want them to work out. I want Dennis Allen to go undefeated this year and win a Super Bowl. That's the goal. That's obviously probably not going to happen. The undefeated part, who knows? We're way a ways from that. But interesting decisions going on. Can't wait to see what else we do. A lot more decisions to be made, and we'll see what happens. We'll see it. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about these decisions made so far and about decisions that need to be made. Receivers, running backs, offensive line, whatever you want to talk about in the comments below. As always, man, thank y'all for tuning in once again. It's the Boot Tragedies, and I'm out.